Hi, this is Kim Keys, and I'm recording this in Greenbelt, Maryland. And today I'd like to talk about an issue that I think whose time has come, especially given what happened with the 2016 U.S. presidential elections. Anyway, I want to talk about something that's called a new way of voting. And before I begin, I just want to say that the United States has long had a history of what they call plurality voting, which means voters can choose only one candidate. In U.S. presidential elections, one does not directly elect the president. A voter is really electing an elector who goes to the electoral college to cast a vote for that candidate. But then it results in such strange phenomenon as what's going on in the 2016 presidential election, where Hillary Clinton is leading by 1 million in the popular vote, but thanks to the electoral college system, it's highly likely that all the electoral votes will go towards Donald Trump instead, even though Hillary Clinton has won more of the popular vote than Donald Trump. As Time magazine points out, for the fifth time in history, the U.S. has elected a president who lost the popular vote, renewing calls to abolish the electoral college and move to a simpler system. This is how the current voting system affects American voters. Let's look at a typical American voter named Sally. Her biggest concerns are the environment, women's issues, and the economy. She does her best to keep up with the news, and she reads up on all the issues. She voted for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary because his policies resonated with her the most, but Hillary Clinton ultimately got the nomination. For the general election, Sally's choices are limited to two major party candidates, Donald Trump on the Republican side and Hillary Clinton on the Democratic side. When Sally goes into the voting booth on election day, she faces this dilemma on which candidate to choose since she can only pick one. She likes Donald Trump's message on bringing jobs back to America, and she likes the fact that he's against the proposed Trans-Pacific Partnership, but she's turned off by his campaign's misogyny. She is also turned off by the campaign's racism, xenophobia, and Islamophobia because she has friends who are either people of color, immigrants, Muslims, or all three. She likes Hillary Clinton's stand on women's issues, but she's turned off by Clinton's close ties to Wall Street and pro-fracking companies. She's also worried about political nepotism, since Hillary Clinton is the wife of an ex-president who once served as First Lady. Basically, Sally does not like either candidate. As for Sally's options, she can hold her nose and pick whoever she thinks is the lesser of two evils. It wouldn't be a vote that Sally would like or be proud of. Sally notices that there are two minor third-party candidates on the ballot, Gary Johnson of the Libertarian Party and Joe Stein of the Green Party. She could vote for one of them as an alternative. Here's why Sally would be reluctant to vote for a third party. She has long been told that voting for a third party is a wasted vote. She might even be told that a vote for a third party equals a vote for Donald Trump, even though in reality, she wouldn't actually be voting for Trump. The system has long favored just two major political parties, so the minor parties tend not to receive as much publicity as in the news media. If Sally becomes so turned off by the campaigns of both major political parties, she could opt not to vote at all. This would put her among the nearly 50% of eligible voters who opted not to vote at all in 2016. There is an alternative. In 2016, Maine voters approved an alternative voting system known as ranked choice voting or instant runoff voting. Here's what the Wikipedia has to say about this. Instant runoff voting, also known as the alternative vote, AV, transferable vote, single-seat ranked choice voting, RCV, or preferential voting, is a voting system used in single-seat elections when there are more than two candidates. Instead of voting only for a single candidate, in IRV, voters can rank the candidates in order of preference. Ballots are initially counted for each elector's top choice. If a candidate secures more than half of these votes, that candidate wins. Otherwise, the candidate in last place is eliminated and removed from consideration. The top remaining choices on all the ballots are then counted again. This process repeats until one candidate is the top remaining choice of a majority of the voters. When the field is reduced to 2, it has become an instant runoff that allows a comparison of the top 2 candidates head-to-head. Instant runoff voting is used in Australia, Hong Kong, Ireland, and Papua New Guinea. U.S. cities that currently use instant runoff voting include Berkeley, Hendersonville, North Carolina, Memphis, Minneapolis and St. Paul, Oakland, Portland, Maine, San Francisco, San Leandro, California, Tacoma Park, Maryland, and Telluride, Colorado. If instant runoff voting had been used in the 2016 U.S. presidential election, how would this affect Sally? She would be more enthusiastic about going to the polling place because she would not have to choose just one person. Her ballot would look something like this. Instead of being instructed to choose only one candidate, she would rank her preference on a scale from 1 to 4. Sally had voted for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary. Jill Stein, who's running for the Green Party, has a platform that's nearly identical to Bernie Sanders' platform. So Sally decides to designate Stein as her first choice. Sally decides to mark Hillary Clinton as her second choice because she agrees with Clinton's stand on women's issues, even though she personally prefers Jill Stein. So Clinton gets a 2 next to her name. As for her third pick, Sally decides to choose Gary Johnson of the Libertarian Party because she agrees with that party's stand on the legalization of marijuana, even though she disagrees with nearly everything else on that platform. Sally ends up choosing Donald Trump for last place, even though she likes his stand on economic issues, especially with the issues of bringing outsourced jobs back to the U.S. She is turned off by his campaign's racism, Islamophobia, and misogyny. Once Sally is done with her selection, the computer will automatically rearrange the names according to her preferences, then ask her if this is what she wants. Sally is free to change her mind at this point. When she's finally done selecting, she'll hit some button or icon indicating that she's done. Here is where the real fun begins. In ranked choice voting, a candidate must get at least 50% of the votes in order to win. Initially, everyone's first choice is counted. As you can see, Hillary Clinton is in the lead with 45% of the votes, but she has failed to reach the 50% minimum needed to win. Instant runoff begins. Since Jill Stein received the least amount of votes, she is automatically eliminated. Sally's vote is affected since her original first choice, Jill Stein, is eliminated. At this point, election officials will go down to Sally's second choice. Since Hillary Clinton originally received Sally's second place designation, her original Jill Stein vote gets automatically reallocated to Hillary Clinton. Assuming that all of Jill Stein's voters had selected Hillary Clinton as their second choice, Hillary Clinton gets Stein's 5% of the votes, which is enough to put her over the 50% threshold. Hillary Clinton becomes the 45th President of the United States. The benefits of instant runoff elections include third parties are more likely to get votes since people won't be as reluctant to vote for them. People won't have to make just one choice, and instead they could simply rank candidates from the best to the least. Non-voters would be more likely to come to the polls because they wouldn't have to make just one choice. There's a better chance that it would eliminate the lesser of two evils voting. So anyway, that's my take on ranked choice voting or instant runoff voting. This is Kim Keys, screencasting this from Greenbelt, Maryland. Have a nice day. Goodbye.